Hello, trading is closed on November 17th, 2025. As always, we start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. We also have some change in trend dates from Winski today. This is my trading plan for Tuesday. Tuesday is November 18th, 2025. It's just a plan right now, so I can always change it. I can always be wrong and trade at your own risk. We'll get to my stuff in just a minute. Let's start with norms. These were the dates he gave a couple of weeks ago, and nobody should be surprised that he had another winning fortnight. These were the dates he gave, and we'll go through them. The green's a winner, the red's a loser, and the yellow is no trade. So if I can get this to move, I will. We have some winners on corn, mixed on the soybeans. There's the wheat, a couple of winning trades. And cattle, no trade on cotton. Coffee's another winner. He keeps doing it. More winners on sugar, a pass on the copper market, but a winner on silver, a winner on gold. I mean, how many people do this in commodities? Not so good on the oil. Mixed on the S&P, but look at the financials here. Here's the bonds, dollar index, Aussie dollar, British pound, Canadian dollar, euro. Look at this. I mean, 80% winners. Once again, he's been doing this with me almost 6 years. He's been doing this 50 years. 80% of his trades won. These are the dates he has coming up. He has something on the 18th and the 19th in the afternoon, and after the close, on the 19th, 20th, and 21st, he has some changes in these asset classes. Don't forget these can be off by a day. He's been doing this since about more than 50 years ago. Here's his CV. He always offers a freebie to the first 5 people who contact him by the end of the week. They can get a free one-on-one class. You can't beat the price. He'll also give you his fractal forecast for 28 markets free. All you have to do is contact him. I mean, he gives you his phone number, 239-594-3939. Here's his email, and Winski@yahoo.com. You got nothing to lose. Well, how did I do? We looked for a pattern with the early high, that's this, and tomorrow should also have the early high. We said this, we said that maintaining a drop at the open puts us back on a path down to our lower target, and that was very likely, we said. We said if we gapped up, it would turn the tables, and gapping up in overnight doesn't count. I only count what happens during regular trading hours. Tomorrow has the early high. Well, we gapped down, so we hit our target, 66.90, 118, so we'll cross it off the list. There's usually support under the target, but that's just refers to the first challenge. First challenge is here. That uses up support, and when we hit it again, support's gone. Goodbye. And that certainly worked. We have a new target for tomorrow, 67.0164. If we don't gap down smartly, and I'm not saying we won't, but if we don't, that's the target with resistance over that price. Now, I don't keep track of old targets after they printed. If I did, there'd be lines all over my chart. That's not too helpful, but it's important to note that it's interesting to note, today's low is right at a target from 1 month ago. That target was 66.40.01, and the low of the day was what? 66.38.90, about one handle away. I mean, that's not an accident. There was an ultimate sell signal here at work, but MEJT said it was false and price would retrace. Said this move is false, said this drop is false, that's retraced. This is forecast to retrace. Don't forget though, if it gaps down, the price remains, but not the time. Here was today's close. We've been waiting for a close under number 8. setup, which is support, and we finally got it. We closed under that level. Now any move needs confirmation. If we gap up, this doesn't count, but if we undercut this by 1 cent, that finalizes break of support. That doesn't mean we have to go down in a straight line, and doesn't even mean we have to drop tomorrow. Well, we're on our way to our target, I think, of 64.90 and a half. Let's just summarize what's going on. You have to use the mixed signals rule. It's a good chance of gapping unless we close unchanged, then we'll gap the next day. Pattern tomorrow has the early high. It's a mixed signals pattern. Positive, there's a higher target. We don't gap down, the rules call for it to print. But it's negative, today's normally bullish pattern wasn't. Now this usually closes near its low, and that's not closing near its low, but tomorrow's open can substitute for today's close, so it's entirely possible we gap and take this low out early. But if we don't gap and overtake this high early, and I don't think that's going to happen, this should fall at some point. Just as this had to fall at some point, this has to fall at some point if we don't gap and take this out. So it's a pattern with the early high. Signals are mixed. There's resistance if we hit 67.0164, but there's a good likelihood of a gap. And if we gap up and hit this, at some point we're going to have to undercut today's low. And if we gap down and take this out, at some point we'll hit this number. Just a question of when. So it's the pattern with the early high. I think we're going lower. Just a question of, are we going lower in a straight line? We're going to have a detour first, and I think we'll know by tomorrow's open, and that's today's call.